He took a urine bag from the refrigerator and tied it to his thigh. Then he injected someone else's blood onto a fake fingertip and carefully glued it to his own finger. Then he confidently went to the interview at the space agency. The interviewer handed him a cup to urinate in. Then he used Jerome's urine bag that he had hidden earlier. As expected, the genetic test confirmed that Jerome's genes were exceptional, and he passed the test in just one try, and the doctor said, "Congratulations." And he surprisingly asked, and then the doctor said that was it. From that day on, he would clean the dandruff and hair from his body every day, avoiding leaving any clues of his true genetic identity. Meanwhile, Vincent would collect his own dandruff and hair loss, as well as obsessively hiding his urine and blood at home. With Jerome's perfect genes, Vincent quickly rose through the ranks of the company and soon became an astronaut. However, instead of being excited, Vincent became even more cautious. Every day after work, he would wipe the dirt off his keyboard, brush away Jerome's dandruff, and even leave a strand of hair in his comb to avoid surprise inspections by agents. Just when he was about to realize his dream of flying into space, an unexpected accident occurred. The mission director, who had vehemently opposed Vincent's flight, was found dead in his office, beaten with a keyboard. Now that he was dead, it was great news for Vincent. But during the police's thorough search of the crime scene, they accidentally discovered an eyelash in a corner, and it turned out to be Vincent's. According to the investigation, Vincent had worked there as a janitor several years ago but had mysteriously disappeared since then. Now, his eyelash found at the crime scene made him the prime suspect. Seeing his own old photos all over the company, Vincent could no longer remain calm. He told Jerome about the situation and planned to cancel his original plan. Then they discussed the situation. "They will recognize me," Vincent said. "They won't recognize you, and I won't recognize you either. They won't link the eyelash to you. They won't believe that one of their elites deceived them all along." "You do as we planned," Jerome replied. However, Vincent flushed all the urine and blood from the refrigerator down the toilet. Jerome was furious when he saw this. If he had known that Vincent was such a coward, he would not have sold his genetic identity. Despite everything, Vincent had no choice but to continue working even though he was afraid of being caught. On the other side, the police intensified their efforts. They set up checkpoints at several intersections and searched all the janitors. By chance, Jerome caught their attention. When his ID showed that he was an astronaut, the police officer became suspicious and asked how a disabled person got into the space agency. Jerome replied, "I hurt my leg during training. How dare you question me? What's your ID number?" Jerome said. "Never mind," the guard replied and walked away. Jerome chased after him, demanding an explanation. The police officer apologized for his harassment and fled in embarrassment. Seeing that the investigation had reached a dead end, they had no choice but to focus on the space agency employees. Fortunately, Vincent was prepared. He had previously hidden Jerome's blood in his palm. When the doctor was about to draw blood, he pretended to be in pain and blamed the doctor for hurting him. He then cleverly switched the blood samples, successfully fooling everyone. The police chief felt something was wrong and wanted to retest, but the director was strongly opposed. In 2 days, the rocket would be launched. If they missed this opportunity, they would have to wait another 70 years. No one wanted to risk canceling the launch without proof. The police chief questioned whether the flight plan was more important than a life. The director still did not authorize it. The investigation reached a standstill, and Vincent finally breathed a sigh of relief. That night, he went out to dinner with his girlfriend Irene, but the police raided the restaurant. They occasionally did this in various places. On this day, the restaurant was surrounded by police. Vincent quickly led Irene to escape through the back door, but there was already a police officer there. He had no choice but to fight, punching the officer. The police chief, alerted by the confusion, chased them. Seeing the scene before him, he suspected that it had something to do with the case.